guys, so it's me, Tartar's Queen Dragoness, and it's unfortunate that this month that there's not going to be the typical, you know, dumb things from woke trans video series. Now, with every series, there's always going to be some times where you're not going to get the, silly things to actually happen. And given the fact that there is a month, which I wanted to do, there wasn't anything silly that happened this time, which is sad. But it doesn't mean that the series is going to be over. So the next time that another dumb thing actually happens from woke trans, I'll be sure to cover it. I probably will be another. It probably will be for next month's episode. I'll probably do it right away. Um, but then again, I like to do more stories, so I'll continue on with the month. Anyway, um, in case you all are wondering, yes, I've heard about the whole Dr. Phil incident, and I'm well aware of that episode. And to be quite honest, um, it makes me wonder why people don't understand that sex is not gender. Okay, I'm 38 years old. Now, my birthday just passed about a couple days ago on February 5th. So, yay, happy birthday to me. Um, I had me some sopes. In case you don't know, it's a Mexican dish. But that's besides the point. So, like I said before, I don't know why people don't understand the concept of sex and gender. And that sex is actually your genitalia, but your gender is your mentality. And I've known that since I was little, for ever since I was middle school, really. Just like 14, 15 years old. And it's silly to think that there are a lot of people who believe that women should be submissive and produce babies, and men should be like me macho, me protect woman, me teach male heir to be doing manly things. Ooh, ooga, 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 booga, booga. I'm sorry, but about 20,000 years ago, I think the caveman era ended. We're a progressive society. Humans progress, they don't regress. Unless you really want to, which is silly. And that's why you end up in the slums. I want to be clear about one thing. If you're a person under the transgender umbrella and you have respect boundaries and do things that a normal, and I want to stress this, normal cis woman or cis male does in society and have pure scruples, then you are welcome to be a part of the community you want to be a part of. No ulterior motives, no nothing. You want to live life as a woman, do things as a woman, fine. Okay? Be respectful, be courteous, and be mindful of everybody around you, like you would show to yourself. Is that clear? Good. That being said, I want to turn the focus to a story that I mentioned last month, or was it a couple months ago? No, last month, regarding Lia Thomas. And this story has been going on ever since early December? Yeah, early December. And now it seems to be reaching its conclusion, and it seems that there have been some dirty deeds within the NCAA and Penn State University itself. But we'll get to that in a moment. We start off with a bit of positive life from an article from NBC News. So, the article states that USA Swimming, the sport's national governing body, released a new policy for elite transgender athletes Tuesday. The policy requires trans women to undergo hormone therapy and have low testosterone levels less than 5 nanomoles per liter of blood continuously for at least 36 months before applying to compete at the elite level. They must also provide evidence that going through puberty as their sex assigned at birth does not give them a competitive advantage over their cisgender female competitors. Okay, seems like a fair compromise. The last part is a little cringe, but I can understand it because some people might not respond to hormone therapy that well, and the hormone therapy doesn't really affect them that much. So I guess that's kind of, I guess, an insurance policy thing. I don't know. So 36 months or 3 years is a whole lot better than that silly 1 year. And the 5 nanomoles is way, way, way more on par to what's normal than the previous 10 nanomoles. That's a massive, massive improvement. And it's nice to see that at least a few institutions, if not most, are listening to real medical experts. Now, I did say in my last video that they did say 5 years, but I guess 3 years is okay. I mean, some people respond pretty freaking good in 3 years, and others take a little bit longer. Which probably explains why the latter part of this policy was even put in, because different people respond to hormone therapies differently. I also want to iterate that there were questions I had about her supporters not being present, making me question Leia's motive for transitioning. As it turns out, she had them the entire time. And while politicians were going crazy over this story, yeah, I'm well aware of a certain woman. They were having a field day with that, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm not getting involved with that, to be quite honest. So, which brings me to this latter part of the article, where apparently there was blackmail from the NCAA and Penn State. We have been told that if we spoke out against her inclusion into women's competitions, that we would be removed from the team or that we would never get a job offer. It was also stated in the letter received to the teammates from the NCAA and Penn State that when media have tried to reach out to us, journalists have been told that the coaches and athletes were prohibited from talking to them. Honestly, that's the scummiest thing I've ever heard. And here I thought that the coaches were the ones being egotistical, and it turns out that they too were being blackmailed. And it turns out this entire time, the school heads wanted the prestige of getting that platinum gold trophy and using Leia as a tool to get that recognition. I have never in my life heard of a school with this kind of horrid integrity. If that is the case, okay, and a respectable organization who's supposed to upheld the rules of sportsmanship is also involved with this, the NCAA. And if that's the case, then all these people should be reprimanded for what is essentially an illegal crime. And as it turns out, there is a lawsuit about to happen if people want to go that far. Okay, fine, let him do a lawsuit. But in case you don't know, this is prison term stuff. This is literally prison term stuff. You do blackmail at a scale like this is prison. Now, I just want to point out that Mrs. Thomas had already been going under hormone therapy since May of 2019, which is 32 months. And by the time the championships arrive, she won't be able to effectively compete in them, even though that she is now eligible and has actually have an active roster within the championships. So she's in a bit of a pickle right now. It turns out that they might have to remove Leia from the championship or her eligibility for the championship. Which, to be quite honest, a few months is not going to be that big of a deal. Now, I don't know if she's a junior or a senior in that school, so she would be, under this policy, be able to compete in next year's competition. Which, by all means, it's just another year of hormone therapy. And to solidify her well-being and her full-on transition, and to be on par with most of the cisgender women. So 1 year is not going to hurt. Okay, 1 year is not going to hurt. Does it suck that she might be taken out of the competitive roster? Sure, it does. But if you want to make sure that you're going to be on equal ground, 1 year isn't going to hurt anything. As far as her supporters, there was a letter of 16 people who were actually, against Lia Thomas for being in the competitive spectrum. But as I read it later in this article, it says that the vast majority of people were very supportive of Lia. And I had questions about this. And I knew they existed. And I knew that something was wrong. And now that we know that they're wrong, there was something wrong, and we know who to blame, these other women of the 39 or 55, I don't know, are coming out and supporting Leia, which by all means I'm very proud of. I am very proud that this is actually being, focused on. And it's great that this entire time, even though I was critical last video, that this is a thing. And I hope for Leia's sake that if she does continue on with her sports, I hope she has a very smooth journey going forward. I'm sorry that you may or may not miss the your opportunity to be in the NCAA championships. And if you do end up in the NCAA's championships, that's great. Okay. That is terrific. And I know this has been a very rough couple months for you, but I'm also glad that this is somewhat of a bittersweet end. I mean, we all know we can't get what we want. Like how the song goes, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you might get what you need. And with that being said, regrescate pace, my lovelies. Let the darkness